So one other thing, Max. So obviously, all the search results currently with
Yes,
the existing algorithm, they're not being influenced only by what the seller provides, but there's also Q&A on the
yes.
PDP, there's videos and things like that. So uh, how does Cosmo
It
take
factors
those
all of
into
this
account?
in. It factors all of this in hugely. So, you know, I don't know how scalable this is, but I would recommend sellers to have their customers ask questions and then the questions that they want to ask and then answer them in depth on their listing. And that is going to, without a doubt, help Rufus and Cosmo understand
Okay.
the Q&A. What material is this? How durable is this? Um, all these kind of all these questions that you know your customers are asking you. You want that on your Amazon listing,
Yeah.
100%.
So you know what I'm hearing really at the end. I just want to dumb it down, because
Yes. Yeah.
we've been in Amazon space long time. So I've been doing this long time. So it's and I'm also an engineer by training. So it's hard for me to speak the real, you know, uh, basic language. But if I could try to dumb it down, this is more about providing authentic contextual content for individual listings
Yes.
than focusing on keywords,
Yes.
because that content you provide, and by the way, that content could be in the form of what you provide with titles, bullets, whatever, your pictures, not necessarily for targeting the shopper to get them to convert because they see themselves in the picture, but
Hmm.
actually for AI to interpret the picture,
Yeah.
make it part of the search. In addition to which, what is on the PDP in terms of Q&As or videos or anything that is authentically demonstrating what this product is about,
Hmm.
all that will get sucked into the system that will interpret that and then distill it down to what the shopper is communicating to Rufus and then showing this is what's good for you. Is
Yes.
that really what it
I
was
think
trying to?
I think that's a fantastic summary. And you know where you can find for free an audit of how your ASIN is stacking up against all of that is as we were discussing previous, we have built a free GPT. Anyone can access it. We'll link it, but you can put in your ASIN, and it will basically review all of these different elements that you just described, Nick. How well the ASIN is performing for Cosmo, and I will place a disclaimer that this is not a live GPT. It's not attached to Amazon in any way, like like we have a e-content where we have the APIs. This is a GPT that's been trained on the science papers and the best practices and understanding and data we have at e-content, which we've just uploaded to it as a one-off. As I said, this will change, but can be an interesting guide to just let you know where you're performing and spark some ideas.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is yeah. I mean, you are operating at a whole different level. So to me, you're not a normal human being. So the kind of stuff you told that the things that you work on. So we discussed this before we started recording. So you've got a tool,
Yes,
and that tool is ChatGPT tool. You can first of all you can plug in your ASIN and it will tell you what your ASIN
yes,
looks like and everything
yes,
else. So it's easy. So
exactly.
if anybody wants to find out, just go plug in your ASIN and then find out what
Yes,
your listing is like in terms of its content. But more important, it also has the options to evaluate what your
yeah,
listing what your listing standing is in terms of Cosmo. So
yeah,
how good a fit it is. So
yeah.
the link for this tool is going to be in the episode notes. So anybody listening, just go look at the tool, click on it. It's free to use. There's no charge. And also Max here, you can see this guy is operating at a different level. So out to him. So this is great. Well, I mean, look, I'm curious. I'm curious to see where this goes. But you know what it is, Max? At the end of the day, I mean, there's all this talk about AI, regulating AI. Frankly, I'm against regulating. I don't care if it's the end of civilization. Let it be. You know, civilization is not. I mean, civilization is doing great things, but you know, once we're gone, who cares, right? We're gone. So it's in the meantime, what's going on? So it's all about convenience. That's what it's about. So one of the things that I always say to people is go back to the early days of the internet. When internet first started, it spread very quickly, and but one reason why it spread quickly among seniors was because, other than the fact that seniors had money, so they could buy computers and use it, but they loved being able to see their grandkids' pictures being emailed to them. So that made it very convenient. So the convenience is key, and AI is bringing convenience.
Yeah,
overall.
I mean, I read a lot. Well, yeah, I especially really enjoy reading from the founders from the early 90s at the start of the internet and what they were saying, as they could kind of, it's super interesting, and there's so many parallels because they could kind of see something big was happening. It wasn't clear exactly how it would shake up. It was kind of clear that social interactions would be changing. And back in those days, everybody was launching different social interaction apps because it was very in different ways. Somehow this was going to change. But another part of me thinks that AI is so much bigger than the launch of the internet. AI is not just some tool, right? It's not comparable in the same way. In many ways, AI is an extension of humans. And I think it's more comparable to language and how we created language as a species. And then we evolved into using language. And now we all talk, and we've got, you know, mouths and whatnot, and you know, windpipes and everything. And AI in the same way is an extension of us. It's all of our collected intelligence over, you know, 2,000 years plus 4,000 years, however many thousand years it is, put into one, you know, or multiple machines that can then compute and work things out at a lot greater speed. So I really see AI as an extension of humanity, and it's kind of the next level for all of us. So I completely agree. I think regulating this is extremely dangerous, and confining this to a few tech companies who can afford to pay all the regulators and you know is
like,
extremely dangerous. It's an extension of all of us, and it's important to be democratized.
I mean, look, it's humans. Yeah, it's extension of humanity is fine, but there is the good humanity and the bad humanity, and so it's the extension of both. And
Yeah,
but
exactly.